evening and live from Banjul. This is GRTS News at 2000 hours with me, Winifred Nicole. In the headlines this evening, President Barrow presides over a mass political rally in Bakadaji, welcoming the alliance between the National People's Party and the former ruling party, APRC, as a breakthrough ahead of the December polls. The third ordinary session of the National Assembly in the 2021 legislative year begins today, with the 2020 Forced Labor Amendment Bill under scrutiny. The Gambia Press Union holds its 6th National Journalism Award, promoting excellence in the field of journalism. In sports, Nawetan football resurfaced with Jatta's Football Club defeating Sateba United in the Super Cup League. In the internationals, coup leaders in Guinea announces a military takeover, dissolving the government of President Alpha Conde and suspending the constitution. Well, viewers, those are the headlines. Thanks for joining GRTS News. Well, my name is Winifred Nicole. We begin this edition of the bulletin with major political developments where the National People's Party, NPP, confirmed their coalition with the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction Party, APRC. The disclosure was made during a press conference at the President's home village of Mankamankunda yesterday, where the deputy spokesperson for the National People's Party, Sidin Jai, said the alliance will undoubtedly help in healing, reconciling, and unifying the people for improved national development. So far, the NPP has formed alliance with NRP, PPP, NCP, and GPDP. Well, GRTS's Louis Mendy picks up the rest of that story.
The National People's Party has confirmed what it calls formidable alliance with the APRC, as announced on the 4th of September by the APRC party leader, Fabakary Tombong Jatta. The confirmation was made at a press briefing at President Barrow's home village of Mankamakunda on Sunday. Sidin Jai, the deputy spokesperson for the National People's Party, said the development will undoubtedly help immensely in healing, reconciling, and unifying the people on the basis of national development, cohesion, and unity.
The National People's Party welcomes the announcement of a successful NPP-APRC alliance talks for the December 4th presidential election and subsequent election cycles by the APRC party leader, Honorable Fabakary Tombong Jatta. Ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary General and party leader of the National People's Party, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, is committed to building a strong foundation of democracy where citizens' rights, liberties, and freedom are respected under strong state institutions for effective checks and balances under a vibrant democratic space.
Sidin Jai said as a legally registered political party by the Independent Electoral Commission, the National People's Party, which is founded on the basis and principles of democracy, respect for fundamental human rights, and the rule of law, committed to political pluralism, intends to work with all political entities, organizations, individuals, with a common objective of delivering services beneficial to the Gambian people.
The now formidable alliance of several parties, the National People's Party, the National Reconciliation Party, the People Progressive Party, the National Convention Party, the Gambia Party for Democracy, the Gambia Democratic Party for Development, GPDP, and Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, APRC, will undoubtedly usher in an emphatic election victory and a new dawn of Gambia for all Gambians.
Jai said the NPP and APRC formidable alliance, which include NRP, PPP, NCP, and GPDP, will undoubtedly usher in an emphatic election victory and a new page for all Gambians, as the NPP represents and embraces peace, hope, tolerance, development, and the rule of law, as opposed to fear-mongering, intimidation, and divisive politics.
The National People's Party hereby notifies all its membership and supporters of a great party of this development and instruct that we work together with all our partner parties at all levels. Whilst wishing you a successful election cycle, the party leader is committed to the conduct of free, fair, and transparent elections.
And as the NPP and APRC and 4 other parties struck alliance, the party leader is calling on all party members to conduct themselves peacefully now, during, and after the December presidential election for a more peaceful Gambia in the long term. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
Well, still on President Barrow's engagements in the Upper River region is the massive political rally held at Bakadaji, where the Gambian leader has welcomed the alliance between the National People's Party and the former ruling party, APRC. The meeting was witnessed by thousands of party supporters, with hundreds defecting from the Gambia Democratic and United Democratic parties. As we hear in this report by GRTS's Momodou Jallo, President Barrow described the December polls as a referendum for progress and retrogress, depending on the choices one made.
The National People's Party continues to assert its dominance of the political terrain with yet another massive rally in Bagadaji. It is one of the most populous villages in Jimara and has recently become a battleground for political parties, all trying to project strength in numbers. For regional party officials such as Regional Chairman Bubu Drame, this turnout is unprecedented and is the final nail in the coffin of the opposition presence in this constituency. Bubu sounded bullish, predicting that President Barrow will win by a whopping 99% of the vote, given the support and popularity he enjoys in the Upper River region. This is an assessment shared by many other party officials, including Chief Haji Kule Kamara, who declared the death of the opposition in Jimara. As a native of Jimara, Chief Kamara said President Barrow deserves the full support of his constituents to enable him to undertake many more development projects for the country. The regional women mobilizer, Mama Toure, described the women vote as critical in deciding the outcome of any election, but reassured President Barrow that the women of the Upper River region will massively vote for him in December. Several MPP party executives also weighed in, proclaiming the dawn of a new era in Gambian politics. Ajay Maimouna Cisse of the Diaspora Wing, Dr. Demba Sabali, Deputy NPP National President, Dusano and Sekumbalo, both political advisors to the President, and Maimouna Balde, the Women's Mobilizer, all praised the extraordinary success of the rally as evidence of President Barrow's charismatic and development-oriented leadership, urging supporters to maintain the momentum and strive for a decisive victory in December. They also called on the opposition, particularly the GDC leader, to embrace President Barrow and work for the development of the country. The Minister of Regional Government and Lands, Musa Drame, said the rally has shown beyond any doubt that the NPP is the clear favorite in the December polls, adding that its alliance with other parties was meant to complement President Barrow's efforts in national development. The president was later introduced to defectors who claimed to have abandoned the opposition in favor of the NPP. Speaking on their behalf, Kumba Suare and Amadou Ba both claimed that they voluntarily decided to join the NPP as it has proven to be the party of progress and development. They both appealed to the remnants of the opposition parties in Jimara to follow suit because the NPP has opened its doors to all Gambians. The rally climaxed with President Barrow's address, in which he welcomed the NPP's alliance with the APRC as a breakthrough that would strengthen his chances of re-election, adding that it is making his opponents lose sleep as they come to terms with the potential ramifications. The president also commended the regional NPP executive for the bold initiative of organizing this rally, arguing that it will send a clear message as to the outcome of the election, which he described as a referendum between progress and retrogress. The president spoke of his track record over the last 5 years that has seen the completion of important infrastructural projects, revitalized the national economy, and improved services. Of particular importance for the youth, President Barrow disclosed, is the establishment of a youth enterprise fund to enable young people access funds for entrepreneurship, and the sports levy, which has significantly developed Gambian sports. He concluded by urging MPP supporters to be law-abiding but resolute and assertive, saying it has the backing of the masses. The party is bigger than any individual, President Barrow quipped, saying the defection of a single person does not diminish its standing and popularity among Gambians. Momodou Jallo, GRTS News.
The third ordinary session of the National Assembly in the 2021 legislative year begins today with the Forced Labor Act 2020 Amendment Bill under scrutiny. The bill tabled by the Ministry of Justice.
Formulation of the document and what had been the observations and conclusion of the Joint Committee thereof.
Section 25 of the Women's Act recognized the need for periodic review of legislation every 10 years to ensure further compliance with our international obligations as enshrined in the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, and the Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the Rights of Women in Africa, called the Protocol. This amendment is intended to amend and repeal the provisions of this Act that are discriminatory against women as mandated by Section 25 of the Women's Act.
The member for Kantora, Honorable Bileji Tunkara, reported on the position of the Select Committee on Trade, NEPAD, Regional Integration, World Trade Organization and the World Bank regarding the bill under review.
A woman shall not be subjected to any labor during pregnancy that is Roman figure 1, 2, that is hazardous to her health, or Roman figure 3, likely to affect her productive health. And B, a child shall not be subjected to any labor that is exploitative and hazardous to his or her health and safety.
Members, including that of Jara East Senature, argued that the act should be critically looked into to protect dignity of persons concerned.
In this part of our world, i.e. Gambia, will work assiduously on their farms with their babies strapped on their backs. And these are hardworking men and women of dignity. But at the end of the day, they are rewarded just with chicken change. So in that regard, Honorable Speaker, I stand to be corrected that in this part of our world, there is nothing like dignity in labor.
But you see, some women will struggle with their pregnancy until their day of delivery, and then want to apply for the maternity leave. So that means they want to have 6 months after their delivery. So I think a consideration needs to be put here. We are not giving this maternity leave for women as a laissez-faire, but for their condition of their health and the baby.
When we say that women will struggle, if they need their 6 months, we'll struggle until we deliver. I think we should be commended for that. Because we know that we should have 2 months, and we say we will struggle until we deliver and breastfeed your child for 6 months, because that is what has been said.
So if paternity leave is limited to only 10 days, it is important that we divide these 10 days to pre and post. Because if there is a need for the father to help in the house during the course of the pregnancy, and the father does not have any leave during that particular time, then it causes problems.
6-month maternity leave for women, effective 2 months before delivery, and 15 days paternity leave for men have been agreed and recommended for by the Joint Committee for Adoption.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it.
The bill has been adopted by the plenary, pending consideration at a date to be appointed. Ibrahima Jallo, GRTS News.
The Gambia Press Union on Friday organized its 6th National Journalism Award held at a local hotel in Kololi. Journalism Award held at a local hotel in Kololi. Well, the objective of the annual but colorful exercise is to promote excellence in reporting and acknowledge the work of deserving journalists who presented their work before a committee to evaluate their contribution in shaping society. Aissatou Jatta attended the event, and this is her report.
The GPU Awards night returns to recognize members of the Gambian press for their tremendous efforts in journalism covering different sectors of society. The annual awards night rewarded excellence in the media with winners in multiple categories ranging from human rights, health, culture, travel and tourism, and environmental reporting amongst a host of others. The president of the Gambia Press Union, Serif Bojan Jr., said it's important to celebrate the works and efforts of journalists who promote development excellence in journalism amid the approval of the Access to Information Bill.
The Gambian people ask for investigative journalism quite often. Everybody will ask, why are you not doing investigative journalism? That was then. Today, we give you journalism, investigative journalism that made impact. We've seen investigative journalists. First, it started with one. Today, we have journalists, more than one journalist, who are doing investigative journalism to hold the government and everyone else to account, to bring the government closer to the governed.
Seasoned journalist and presenter Jaina Banyanjai is the chairperson of the GPU Award Committee.
Over the years, the Gambia Press Union, in collaboration with its partners, has engaged journalists in the Gambia, building their capacities, mentoring them on the various aspects of their work. This is important. And with continued support from partners, we are confident this capacity building and will be able to continue and improve on their work.
So Williams, the chairperson of the panel of judges who oversaw the categories, said winners were selected based on criteria provided by the press union. Mr. Williams urged media chiefs to be critical gatekeepers to ensure professional journalism.
Let me begin by saying that not a single member of the panel of judges was influenced in any way, shape, or form by anybody. This was a group of sterling journalists with integrity, character, and unimpeachable ethical and moral standards. I therefore urge every journalist, be curious about the world around you and make sure always you prepare for interviews. Do the earnest background work. See your job as a voice for the voiceless. You should speak up, fear no one, and let the truth be your guiding light.
The Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, delivered his traditional awards night speech, stated the important role journalists play in national development.
But we also call on our colleagues in the media to continue to be professional, to continue to be ethical. We applaud all of you. You are all good people. You continue to do your job professionally. Yes, sometimes reports are critical, but that in itself is part of the democratic dividends. And the fact that for the past 3-4 years you have been organizing this, excellence in journalism, that in itself tells very well that the journalism profession in this country is evolving.
The first awardees were veteran journalists whose efforts towards the development and freedom of the press was recognized. Mustafa K. Dabo remains the most constant and outstanding journalist, scooping 5 awards, but for the first time in the history of the National Journalism Awards. Mr. Dabo was defeated by the public broadcasters Aminata Isanyang in the travel and tourism category, while Janke Toure won the Human Rights Award. Various winners also emerged from the electronic, print and online media platforms.
So this alone shows that my work as a journalist is being recognized nationally. So that alone is an achievement for me as a journalist.
This goes to say that as a journalist, what I was doing is just to serve the public. So in serving public interest, there's always reward. So I believe that there's more room for improvement and more achievement lies ahead while we continue, committing ourselves towards serving the public.
We file our stories passionately. We file our stories to impart the message that we want to get out there. But then it turns out that they are recognizing our efforts in such a way actually brings immense elation for me. And this is an encouragement to do more.
This is the 6th edition of the National Journalism Awards, promoting excellence in journalism with outstanding reports that made national impact. For the news, I am Aisatu Gassama.
Well, congratulations to all winners of the 2021 National Journalism Awards, but most especially to our very own Aminata Isanyang and Janke Toure. Well, moving on, the Global Youth Parliament during the weekend has launched its Environmental Heroes Challenge between the Kanifing Municipality, West Coast and Banjul. The challenge has the aim of bringing an end to littering using best practice that are in tandem with enforcement of the law. Sheikh Juf has the details.
The Global Youth Parliament Environmental has launched its Environmental Heroes Challenge after identifying special red zones in a quest to curtail the menace of littering in the Kanifing Municipality, West Coast Region and Banjul City. This scheme is being implemented alongside municipal officials to ensure full compliance in the enforcement of environmental laws. The challenge is designed to enlighten the masses on the dangers associated with littering and consequences attached when caught by the law. West Coast Environmental Heroes Challenge Omar A. Manjang and Senabu Jan, who represents the Kanifing Municipality, all hailed the significance of the challenge in halting public littering.
This exercise is very important. We aim at creating sensitization and awareness for people to understand the importance of keeping our environment clean. Because we believe a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. And this wealthiness cannot be attained if we do not have a better environment. And this better environment can achieve if we don't have clean environment. So that will support our human existence.
This challenge will endeavor for us to be able to, sensitize the public about why it's important not to litter. And then also tell them that we're in partnership with KMC and that we're in partnership with the KM Police as well as other forces, so that eventually when it comes to the second month of the exercise, we will be implementing the anti-littering fine. It's there, it exists, but it's dormant.
We're already standing by. We are already done with the cleansing exercise. And then from there, we'll be heading to the sensitization to communicate with the people and tell them the importance of keeping the environment clean and why are we even cleaning the environment itself.
West Coast team members are appealing to authorities to support them in accomplishing their mission.
That is the unfortunate part of the exercise, because since the beginning of this project, the three regions were called, West Coast, KMC and Banjul. But unfortunately, that of West Coast, we didn't have any support from our authorities, more especially the council. So even the materials that we are using, this broom, is borrowed from the nearby compound. No dustbin, no any other thing.
Lamin Kamara, KMC head of anti-littering, called on youth to emulate the Global Youth Parliament's initiative.
So therefore, we want to encourage all the youth groups to emulate the GYP, because without a decent or clean environment, obviously health will be very limited. So their participation is very important.
Cleaning the environment reduces pollution, protects unique ecosystems, and prevents the extinction of endangered species while conserving resources such as water, land, and air. Challenges are now focused on promoting a clean environment that ensures the protection of biodiversity and ecosystems upon which human lives and all other life forms on Earth depends. Sheikh Juf, reporting for Justice News.
A 5-day training on diplomacy, etiquette, and protocol has commenced at a local hotel with officials from the Gambia Revenue Authority, the Accountant General's Department, and the National Audit Office by veteran diplomat and former ambassador Ibrahima Usman Dur. The training is expected to equip the tax officials on best practices of diplomacy and bilateral relations. By Ibrahim Cham attended the opening ceremony and he filed in this report.
A 5-day training in diplomacy, etiquette, and protocol brought together officials of the Gambia Revenue Authority, the Accountant General's Department, and the National Audit Office. A veteran diplomat, former Gambian ambassador to Dakar, and one-time protocol officer, Ibrahima Usman Dur, stated that an institution is as competent as the constituting staff, adding that on-the-job training is a crucial way of promoting and sustaining institutional efficiency.
This premise therefore makes capacity building imperative to the development of both public and private institutions. It is also a significance of maintaining institutional dynamics for the improvement of national development.
According to former Ambassador Ndour, it is now universally acknowledged fact that diplomacy and protocol service involve arrangements and dealings between countries or corporate organizations with countries that have extremely high stakes in international affairs. He advised participants to be mindful of some of the errors that might lead to what he called a diplomatic catastrophe.
Diplomacy and protocol is used as a tool for mutual communication to minimize the possibility of diplomatic faux pas in professional circles and multinational organizations. Thus, thorough knowledge of protocol is as indispensable necessity for the proper handling of VIPs and for safeguarding the country and an organization's performance, contribution, and reputation.
The training modules include the art of protocol and diplomacy, social and communication protocol, business etiquette, planning and organizing ceremonies. The training also includes the correct use of titles, addresses, order of precedence, as well as seating arrangements. Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority, Yankuba Dabo, noted that GRA is one of the few institutions that currently maintain diplomatic presence in a foreign country.
By the nature of our mandate, especially international and cross-border trade, we are required to maintain diplomatic relations with neighboring countries and treaty partners where possibly establish a diplomatic presence. With the integration of Africa by the African Continental Free Trade, diplomatic engagements between sister revenue authorities will increase, and thus the need for this training.
The Gambia Revenue Authority Commissioner General further stated that the training is expected to equip his staff with the best of diplomatic protocol and etiquette procedures to foster smooth working relationship with taxpayers and the international community.
Revenue officers are not just required to be honest and disciplined. We are also required to be courteous and diplomatic in our engagement with taxpayers and the citizenry at large. Diplomacy, etiquettes, and adherence to protocol is central in our operation as revenue authority because diplomacy, etiquettes, and protocol is about respecting and following correct procedures and the strict adherence to code of conduct.
The Capacity Enhancement Forum is expected to help participants understand the science and art of national and international diplomacy, corporate diplomacy, and protocol comportment. Reporting for GRTS News, I'm Bai Ibrahim Cham.
Well, that report by Ibrahim Cham takes us to a first commercial break. The sports news is up next. Do stay.
Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriMoney just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be 10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to 30,000. Meaning, your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Well, welcome back to GRTS News at 2000 hours with me, Winifred Nicole. And now a bit of sports for you. After a year without the popular Summer Football Championship due to the outbreak of COVID-19, Nawetan is finally back in the community of Lamin in the Combo North. The latest to attract community footballing fans is the encounter between Jata's defeat over Sateba United in the Super Cup League, played at the late Sana Jata Memorial Football Field. Famara Baji witnessed that amazing match, and he fastened this report.
A joyous moment for football enthusiasts in Lamen after the return of Nawaitan football. The attendance at this Super Cup game between two familiar names in Lamen Nawaitan, Jatas FC and Sateba United, summed up how much football fans missed the summer football jamboree, and the excitement was visible all over the field. This was another fierce contest as the two teams renewed their long-standing rivalry. In what was a difficult first period, the two sides settled for a stalemate goalless draw at halftime. In the second period, a bit of intent was shown from both sides, the supporters on the sidelines cheering and hoping for goals. Jatas Tauda Bojang had a free kick punched away by Sateba's goalkeeper. And in the other end, Sateba's Modu Fadera did well to cut inside the box, but Keba Escojo missed from close range. And midway through the second period, Sateba were handed a man advantage as Jatas Tauda Bojang was sent off for a second bookable offense. But all Sateba could manage in the remaining minutes was this shot from Modu Fadera, which drifted over the bar, and the tie ended goalless. The two sides settled for a penalty shootout to decide the contest. Sateba's Modu Fadera squandered his spot kick, and the Jatas supporters celebrated even before their player took what was supposed to be the winning kick. But Sateba's goalkeeper saved Dudu Toure's kick to keep his team's hope alive in the shootout. But Sateba were going to miss again. Musati Bojang blasted his shot over the frame, and Jatas Tijan Dumbia stepped up and fired home to earn Jatas a 6-5 win in the shootout.
Our aim is to win the remaining two cups, and we have the team.
Yeah, our team was 100%. We will just dust ourselves down, pick ourselves up, and look ahead. That's all we are going to do.
What is the target?
The target is to be the champions again.
This was a well-attended Super Cup final, and the organizers are committed to deliver a successful tournament.
I need to emphasize this, because it's not about you, it's not about me. It's about everybody. It's about everybody in Lamen. I'm looking at the issues when it comes to Lamen and its satellite areas to see that sport is respected, and it's a profession that is harmonizing people, trying to bring people together, not to deviate or not to divide people. So this is why we see it that it's necessary that we did not have anything like violence.
A great start to the season for Jatas. This will surely boost their morals ahead of the Nuwaitan Proper. Famara Bagi, GRTS News.
Well, let's now take our second break. The international news is up next. Do stay. Welcome back. And in the internationals, coup leaders in the West African nation of Guinea yesterday announced a nationwide curfew after toppling President Alpha Condé, dissolving his government and suspended the constitution. Sunday saw hours of heavy gun fire near the presidential palace before the announcement was made on state television that an elite special forces led by junta leader Colonel Doumbouya has seized control. Well, earlier today, former government officials have made their handing over to identified military commanders and officials, with Guinea's new strongman promising a national unity government and no witch hunt exercise on the deposed government, despite barring officials from traveling till further notice. France 24 picks up the rest of that story, which till now has been grossly condemned by the international community, including the African Union and the government of the Gambia.
On the streets of Conakry, gunfire near the presidential palace. In a nearby opposition stronghold neighborhood, joy in the streets as news spread that President Alpha Condé had been deposed in a coup.
We are very, very happy with what we heard, what we saw.
What they saw was a group of Guinean Special Forces soldiers announcing that they had arrested Condé, dissolved his government, and suspended the constitution. Calling themselves the Committee for National Reunion and Development, or CNRD, they say the coup was a response to widespread corruption, mismanagement, and poverty. A video shared on Guinean social media Sunday showed Condé slumped on a couch next to a masked soldier. Coup leader Mamadi Doumbouya told France 24 the former president is unharmed.
The president is with us. He's in a safe place. He's seen a doctor. There's no problem.
The putsch, though, has been met by widespread international condemnation, with the United Nations, the African Union, and Guinea's former colonial ruler, France, all calling for Condé's release and a return to constitutional order. Guinea has been beset by unrest since December, when Condé was sworn in for a controversial third consecutive term after a disputed election. That followed a constitutional referendum that upheld a two-term limit on the presidency. Condé, though, taking the update as a reset of his own term count and justification for a third candidate.
Well, let's now shift our attention to a press release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it reads: The government of the Gambia has noted with grave concern the coup d'etat in the Republic of Guinea by elements of the Special Forces, which resulted in the detention of President Alpha Condé and the dissolution of the democratically elected Guinean government. The release adds that, in reaffirming the African Union and ECOWAS position and principle of the total rejection of all unconstitutional change of government and coup, the government of the Gambia hereby condemns the coup d'etat in the Republic of Guinea and calls for the restoration of the constitutional order and underlines the need for the rule of law. The Gambia government is following with keen interest current developments in Conakry and once again implores the military to uphold the rule of law immediately and unconditionally, release all detained civilian leaders, and to preserve the physical integrity of President Alpha Condé, the release concludes. Well, that was all we had time for in this edition of the news at 2000 hours. But before we take leave of you, a quick look at our headline-making stories. President Barrow presides over a mass political rally in Bakadaji, welcoming the alliance between the National People's Party and the former ruling party APRC as a breakthrough ahead of the December polls. The third ordinary session of the National Assembly in the 2021 legislative year begins today, with the 2020 Forced Labour Amendment Bill under scrutiny. The Gambia Press Union holds its 6th National Journalism Award, promoting excellence in the field of journalism. In sports, Nawetan football resurfaced with Jatas Football Club, defeating Sateba United in the Super Cup League. In the internationals, coup leaders in Guinea announces a military takeover, dissolving the government of President Alpha Condé and suspending the constitution. Well, viewers, that was all in this edition of the news at 8. Do join me at 2200 hours for more news. Until then, do stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Billomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
You can now benefit from up to 60 minutes for free by using your AfriMoney account. You need to subscribe to the Stay Safe Mix Bundle using your AfriMoney account and receive free AfriCell to AfriCell minutes valid for 7 days. To activate, dial *777#, select buy data bundles and pay. $150 is only to enjoy 1.5 gigabyte, 60 minutes of on-net calls and 3,000